Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to review the 2014 found footage horror film As Above, So Below, a film that I really have been looking forward to watching. And the reason I've been looking forward to watching this is while I've been researching all these found footage movies that I want to watch and review for my list, everybody's list that I've seen on YouTube or wherever I've looked where people are listing their favourite found footage movies, generally speaking this film is always in these lists. Everybody seems to really have a lot of time for this film and say it's one of the best found footage films out there, certainly in recent years. So I've been really looking forward to this one. And what's my verdict on As Above, So Below? I've got to say, guys, I really thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought it was really well made, and I can really understand how it makes a lot of people's top 10 lists. And what is this film about? Well, we have a young archaeologist basically, and she's actually the best on-screen representation I've ever seen of Lara Croft. This character, she's like a modern day Lara Croft. She tomb raids to get all this stuff, and she's basically searching for the Philosopher's Stone. And she learns in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the movie, you learn and she learns that this Philosopher's Stone is potentially buried in the catacombs underneath Paris. And these catacombs, you know, it's where all these millions of people have been buried. You know, there's these skulls everywhere. Very eerie. So she gets this crew together, documentary filmmaker, her friend, and these guides in Paris that she hooks up with, to go underground, underneath catacombs underneath Paris, to try and find the Philosopher's Stone. However, with this being a found footage horror film, when they get in there, it doesn't go to plan, and they may or may not be in the bowels of hell, basically, in the seven circles of hell. And to get out, basically, they've got to keep going deeper and deeper because things start, you know, the catacombs start collapsing, and they have to go deeper into these catacombs to find what they need. And ultimately they have to face the sins of their life in order to get out of what appears to be hell. And that's all I want to say in case you haven't seen it. But this film was really good, guys. I liked how they set this film up, in the sense of, I think some found footage movies get so hung up with trying to explain away the cameras or trying to explain away how this footage was found and stuff. This doesn't worry about any of that. You get a brief introduction to this documentary filmmaker, that's it, and then boom, they're off. They're searching for this Philosopher's Stone after a bit of investigating. It doesn't get bogged down with that. It doesn't worry about it, and you don't worry about how this footage was found. You just to get on with enjoying the film. This film has clearly been heavily researched. It's basically Dante's Inferno, if you know anything about that. It's like 9 levels of hell, and they have to go through these 9 levels of hell to basically get out of these catacombs, and each one's more horrific than the past. Each one, they have to face the sins of their past. Really cleverly written. Very believable acting by everybody. I thought the lead actress, whose name I can't remember and I haven't got it in front of me, I thought she was excellent, beautiful as well, but I thought she was really good. Like I say, they should have cast her as Lara Croft, in my opinion. Perfect. She was really good. And ultimately this film delivers on scares. Now, a lot of found footage films, the last 20 minutes are breakneck and it gets very frightening and confusing. Well, this film doesn't pander to you. As soon as they get in them catacombs, it starts. This chaos, this confusion, the fear. And it doesn't, with 20 minutes into the film, when they start going into these catacombs, you can't relax from that moment on. You're on edge all the time. And it does continue to escalate. And every single fright in this film I felt was thoroughly earned. There was one jump scare in particular that absolutely terrified me. I wasn't expecting it. I just wasn't, and I don't know why I wasn't, because it's clear something was going to happen. And this jump scare happened, but oh my! I yelled out loud. It scared me that much. And my wife works nights, and she was upstairs asleep. And I was downstairs and I was concerned I'd woke her up. It scared me that much. I yelled out loud. Brilliant. And some of the creepy stuff and creepy imagery that we get in this movie really knocked it out of the park for me in regards to the scares and the fear and the tension. Everything worked for me. I really liked the ending. I like the fact that they didn't give us a cheap ending. They gave us an ending that we deserved as an audience and the characters deserved. And it allowed you to take a breath, and it didn't give you a cheap ending. And I did actually like the fact that they gave you breaths in the movie too, natural breaths, before the intensity began again. Really wonderfully paced as well, this film. I can't compliment it enough for that. So for me, guys, I really thoroughly enjoyed this film. Very strong contender to get in my top 10 favourite found footage movies. I haven't really heard or seen a bad review for this yet. So yeah, for me, guys, really thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. In regards to negatives, well, if you don't like, dark tunnels and being in dark confined places, this film's very claustrophobic. If you don't like that sort of thing, you probably won't like it. Other than that, I thought actually they could have cranked up the intensity a couple of notches more a couple of times, but it was almost like they were respecting the audience and saying, right, we've just given you that, we're letting you have a breather before we do the next one. And I felt at times they could have probably kept that tension and fear, intensity, really high level going for a little bit longer. But I'm really finding niggly stuff there, guys. I really am. So for me, guys, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Highly entertaining. Very scary. Well written. Definitely well directed. Well acted. There's very few faults in this film. And a really high quality found footage movie. So great, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And I do highly recommend this film if you haven't seen it. Don't forget to click that like button, it really does help.